Today I'm going to cover how to learn a language fast. Number one, make it a part of your daily life. Just spend a few minutes every single day doing something to help you with that language, to learn that language. You start with just 1 minute and then you build up from that, but doing it every single day, maybe taking off maybe just 1 day a week. What's important here is consistency. So making it a part of your daily life. That's tip number one. Tip number two, think about the 4 key areas of language learning, which are listening, speaking, reading and writing, and think about how you can cover them in your language journey. These are the fundamental areas of language. For listening, you can do things like using audiobooks in the target language that you're trying to learn. You can transfer audio from TV shows in the language you're trying to learn into an MP3, put those onto your phone or whatever listening device that you have that you carry around with you, and then listen to it as you go along your journey. You'll learn a lot more naturally as you get to hear it in your daily life. To cover speaking, think about things like maybe going to a meetup. So there are lots of meetups that take place around the world in different countries. So look for one in the target language. In the UK, you might have English-German meetups, English-Japanese meetups, English-Swahili meetups, and so on. So you go there and you aim to speak a little bit in that target language with the people you meet. If you're nervous, go with a friend. In fact, I recommend going with a friend for your own safety and security. You should always let people know where you're going if you're going to something like a meetup, and always make sure it's done in a public place. Write messages to your friends on social media, via text and so on, in that target language. So if you're both learning it together, but you don't speak that language, you can practice with each other by writing messages in that target language with each other. If you've got a friend who already knows that language, maybe because you made a friend at a meetup or so on, then you can text them or message them on social media and so on in that target language. So another way to cover writing is to start off by just writing really short stories in that target language. So for example, you can start off with just writing a short story such as, I went to the shop, at the shop I did this. A couple of lines, and that helps you to build up your ability to write in that target language. Reading, start with the basics. Children's books in the target language are generally the best way. Tip number 3, find a good dictionary. So Google doesn't always get it correct in terms of its translation. So search online to see what is a good dictionary that you can use to help you with your language learning. So you want a dictionary that is something like English to whatever the target language is, and then tag the target language to English. Number 4, think about how you learn best. Do you learn best through repetition, through doing the same thing over and over again until you learn that specific word, phrase? Do you learn well through, say, certain kind of media, so through cartoons, through TV? Do you learn well through actually doing physical actions that help you to memorize the language or the word? Think about the kind of way that you really learn, and then try to adapt your learning style so that you learn best. Tip number 5, do not be afraid to make mistakes. We all make mistakes in life, that's part and parcel of it, but you learn through the mistakes. When you make a mistake, ideally you should pay attention to that mistake, realize it is a mistake, and then think, okay, next time I won't do this. Next time I'll do this instead, because that's the actual right way to do it. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. Your mindset in how you go about learning a language will often determine how quickly you will learn it. Believe that you can learn it quickly, and then if you make mistakes, just learn as quickly through those mistakes. Number 6, research, research, research. The internet is your friend. There's lots of information out there about how to learn the language that you're interested in. YouTube was about how I started learning different languages, so looking for videos in those languages. You can also look at the Pod 101 series. They offer lots of free resources. I'm sure there are lots of other ones that you can use. Lots of free apps. Consider different free apps that are out there. Don't just buy everything, obviously, because that's just not necessarily the best use of your time, energy, or resources in terms of specifically money. So research, research, research. My last tip in this video, the pro tip, go to a country where they speak that language day in, day out. Obviously this is harder, but if you can find a way through maybe your school, if you're at school doing a semester or term studying abroad in that country, that could be really helpful to you. Make sure when you do go there, you take every opportunity to really try to practice. Find different people to talk to. You want to talk to people your own age, people older than you, people younger than you, because a part of learning language is that you understand language that's spoken between different people from different groups and different walks of life. in that target language. So it's not just going to be people who say work in one area. It's not just going to be people who say work in one area or studying one area or have an interest in just one particular thing. You need to talk to as many different people as possible and as many different backgrounds to get the most well-rounded knowledge of this language that you're interested in. Other ways to end up going to that country: find a cheap flight to the country, see if maybe you have some relatives there or family in that country that you could stay with for a period of time whilst you're on that holiday, and use that as a way of learning the language as well. Another way to end up going overseas is looking for volunteer opportunities. Really do your research, make sure you find good organizations, trustworthy, cost effective as well. Another way is to get a job abroad in that country. Obviously you probably need some work experience, but there are a lot of, so say if you speak English, there are a lot of opportunities for English teachers in countries overseas, and that's a general method that people take to go overseas and live there and learn the language through that opportunity. So yeah, those are my tips for how to learn a language fast. Do go back through over the tips that I've used. Drop any suggestions or ways that have worked for you in the comment section. Let's use this as a platform and a way to support each other for those who are interested in learning a language. And a lot of these methods that have been mentioned in this video aren't just good for learning a language, but they can be applied to learning anything in general by just thinking about what general principles, what general methods in this video are important to learning something and learning it quickly. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do leave a like, comment, subscribe. Catch you in the next one. Peace.